everybody. Welcome to KPR Network. KPR, that's Knowledge, Power, Respect. I'm your host, Rashonda Hayes, also known as Ro. And y'all, my two wonderful co-hosts, my king, my bro kings. What's up, y'all?
Bro King number one. 25 all the way live. What's up, bro? What's up, babe?
Hey, what's happening, Fudge? What's happening, bro? Much love to y'all, man. It's your man, Oliver Baker, a.k.a. Bake Boogie, also known as Bake Nasty, your mama's favorite stepdaddy. You dig?
Yeah, so hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. I mean, I know a lot of people, with knowing what Thanksgiving, what it really was about, so you have a lot of people who have woken to that up to that knowledge, and so they no longer celebrate it. I was more so looking at it as just gratitude day, a time to just be with my family and see the people that I love that I haven't seen, in a long time. So I hope you guys had a great one. It was good, relaxing, peaceful.
Yeah, Ro, I stayed to myself. Moms went over to my aunt's house. But it was all good. Shout out to my friend Arian. She's a chief of the Chalone tribe out in Bakersfield. Okay. And this time around it kind of hit because I've been close with her, over these past 12, 14 weeks. And now that I'm like, my father is part native or whatever, but I mean, talking with Arian on a regular and seeing like what her people then went through or whatever, I'm with you. Like, we should name it something else. It should be like Indigenous Day or something, like, but not Thanksgiving.
Definitely.
I agree.
And DJ Pudge, you was good. You had a good time.
Yeah, I had a friend's Thanksgiving. I went hung out with the close friends. My family, they all went their separate ways. We do that every once in a while. So I had some sandwiches, turkey sandwiches, and we chilled. That was it.
That's right. That's what I think it's about too. Just getting together with your loved ones and just being grateful. That's really what I do it for. So yeah, so on this Thanksgiving day, I actually was able to watch The Woman King, and it was really good. I have to watch it again because we had a loud family member over, y'all, and couldn't really hear the whole movie. Was trying to hear it. The movie, the TV was loud, but she was just as loud. So it was like. But anyway, it was interesting to watch this movie, and it was interesting and very inspiring to see these women and how empowering they were to come together, to protect their community, the Dahomey community. It made me want to, go back and learn some things and study some things, because one of the things that were interesting in the movie was this part where some men from Portuguese came and they were buying slaves from the Dahomey people. So the Dahomey people were selling their captives and they were getting rich. And then the Portuguese were getting rich from the slave trade as well. So it was, it's disheartening when you, I mean, because of course I've always heard it that, yeah, Africans were selling Africans too, it wasn't just like we were helping to enslave, some of our ancestors helped to enslave. And so, yes, that's always disheartening when you hear that. And then just to see it depicted in this movie where they had some brothers and sisters in these cages waiting for these Portuguese people to come. The people from Portugal, I'm saying Portuguese, the people from Portugal coming in to purchase them, but then I guess at some point, the king there of Dahomey had a change of heart. And this change of heart supposedly came about by the woman who was played by Viola Davis. Her character, she was like, no, we don't need to keep selling our people. Sell them some palm oil, sell them something else, And when you got just money on your mind and how to get rich, that didn't sound like a good get rich scheme, you know, selling palm oil. You know what I'm saying? They obviously profited more off of selling their people.
Wow.
So,
Not to
yeah,
cut you off, and that was
it's all good.
1853, they say, 1855, around there. But dang, look at what we doing now on the internet. We still selling our people.
Still
Or we
selling out.
selling out. You
Yeah,
know, that
that's it.
violence, that murder, that, yeah, that's what we selling today.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, we still in that bondage. You know, it may be different today. You know, but the method is kind of still the same. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just found that was interesting, but was glad to see that. And I don't know how true it was, whether there was a woman who influenced the king at that time, like in real life. You
No,
know
I
what I'm
believe,
saying?
yeah, bro. I believe that Professor James Smalls, I believe he was working on that project. So I believe he had a lot of influence. And he's
Mm.
one of our great historians that we have. Well, shout out to Professor James Smalls for putting that influence and so deep, because everybody, I didn't see it, but I heard it wasn't a tear eye in the place when they leave there. That's what
Man,
I heard. Yeah.
it was very deep. You know, it showed the culture. It had their spirituality aspect to it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? To show what our people were doing and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was good. It was really good. I would encourage everybody to, you know, get a chance to see it, or as soon as it starts streaming, you know, jump on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well. See, Pudge, she mentioned our people. What did Zeke say? That clip you had was with Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, well, Isaiah Thomas, I had a clip that I put on. Well, I'll play it, you know, right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Isaiah says, you know, he's sitting on the panel with Shaq, I believe it's Charles Barkley and a couple of other guys, and Chris Webber.
These four brothers sitting here, we didn't all come from Africa. And there was there was a country before 1492, and our history goes way beyond 1492. So you can't start us at 1492. We were always here. We were always here.
Isaiah goes, wait a minute, hold up. All of us black men up here didn't all come from Africa. We was here before. So saying that we was on the continent before. So that brings up the idea of like, oh, thank you. We were, you know, because in my opinion, I'm just saying in my opinion, because I'm not no scholar and nothing like that, that we was black. It was at one point, it was all black. Either which way you look at any which way you look at it, that's why you have Muslims saying Asiatic.
Yeah, well, we thought that. I thought that was kind of because I was like, I call BS. I ain't gonna front, because I'm like,
you call BS what that we were here in the Americas. You called that BS?
Yeah, because I was saying, you know, and because I was saying, well, if I'm gonna look at what science or what the scholars are saying, and Pudge reminded me that you're looking at Western scholarship, so we must identify the Western scholarship is saying that the first people in the so-called Americas or North America was the Clovis people, right? And so I didn't know that the Clovis people come from Asia. So then we say, well, then that makes sense of why the Nation of Islam would have said, no, you are Asiatic. And they went around Africa. You see what I'm saying? Because if we look at what Pudge is saying, which I do agree with, if Black was the first person in Earth, then we had to spread and move around, you know. And if we went into Asia, and then once there was a glacier period, they crossed the Bering Sea right into Canada and on into what is known as North America. That sounds reasonable. But I don't believe that folks was riding in no boats, especially no motorboats. Not at that time, you know.
No. Definitely not no motorboats. Now that's interesting. So, okay, so tell the people a little bit, like, who are the Clovis people? Who are they?
Pudge, you got them?
Well, the Clovis people supposedly the Clovis people, I guess, like Oliver said, came over the during the Ice Age. They crossed the ice age coming from Asia. Now they came into North America and came into what is now North America, and then became the Native Americans, and and then which would turn into the Native Americans. But my observation of that is that, okay, I know one thing, like we said, if Black people were here, and this is just for conversation. So people who are listening to this don't get into this, Kanye, Kyrie bullshit. It ain't nothing.
No,
this is conversation.
No. Yeah.
This is just putting out the conversation. So,
and actually, this was intimate conversation, because this was a conversation Budge and I were having. You know what I mean? Because this is how we get down, right? And and it's a testament to how we can have disagreements and learn from one another, I think.
That's right.
But what I was saying is that if we were here, like I put up the premise that if we were here first, Black people were here first, you have a little bit of information from the Muslim community saying that we were Asiatic. Okay, so that kind of goes into that. Now I'll go with them saying that the Clovis people crossed over during the Ice Age. We know the Ice Age was almost 10,000 years in length.
The Bering Sea.
Yep. If you know science, you know that your pigment is not a part of your DNA. So if we started out dark over 10,000 years in the ice cold, when there's no sun, your skin is going to lighten up over time, over generation period. So that's why even now, if you look at in Asia, they are finding remnants of Black Asiatics. So that's where
during the Ice Age, you saying that's how also the Caucasians came about?
Yes.
No.
Wait,
during the Ice Age.
They said no.
No, during the Ice Age. But we talked about Noah, right, and the flood, and then the Ark landing on Mount Ararat, which is in the Caucasus Mountains, and so we believe that's how that's the story origin of them, right?
That's the story.
But this is the interesting thing about the Clovis people. So where Western science will take it, and I do agree. So now we get the Clovis people. So I say, well, Pudge, who was before the Clovis? Who's the father of the Clovis people then?
Right.
And so they talking about recent studies say that their ancestors were these people called, or the people that came before them were called the soul. What is it? I gotta look it up because I don't want to. The soul. Shoot, y'all, my bad. Soltrian people.
Soltrian.
Yeah, but they're saying that the Soltrian people come from Italy. Wait a minute.
Yeah, so you can't get that group of people to turn into the other group of people.
No,
you can't get that from that.
But I can get those people from Italy, not too far from the mountains, the Caucasus Mountains.
Exactly.
Okay. So I see where they're trying to make their distinction.
Exactly.
But it's not gonna fit. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Right.
So I'm gonna say on that argument, I think Pudge won.
Now, what about the Olmec? You had mentioned something about the Olmec people.
Now, the Olmec people, now that's interesting because it depends on where you get your information from on the Olmec people. Because like right now, I Googled it and it says that the Olmecs were American Indians, not Negroes, or Nordic supermen. So, but if you read in another book, Olmecs say they came from what? Africa. They're African descent, West African descent.
Yeah, it was.
So it depends on where the information comes from, because like Ro, like you said about the hunter aspect of it. You
Yeah.
know, whoever's winning is gonna put their spin on it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
You never hear about the story of those who were hunted or the losers. You know
yes,
what I'm saying? You hear the other story. You hear the story of the successor, the victor
the victor,
first.
yeah. Just like
Yeah.
and just like in World War II, Hitler, he sent out his SS to find the ancient Aryan race, the artifacts of the ancient Aryan race, and he kept finding black. And it's like you see what I'm saying? It's like he wants, and that was to put the spin on it, that we are the number one race. We are the number one race, just to put that spin on it. And it depends on where, that's why when we have the scholars that we have say that the Clovis people are here or whoever, it doesn't matter. We got to look at their agenda. You have to look at their agenda and who's supporting that.
Well, and the thing is, we all know on this panel that race is a man-made construct, right?
Yeah.
And so in the end, there is no black and white. We're all just human beings, right? Different shades of this aspect that we call black. Because if the first atomically walking human being was dark skinned, and you only can make dark to recessive, right? And even white people, y'all are not white. Y'all are have a more tannish, color, what I'm saying, to y'all than, well, I didn't see some real white folks, but I didn't see some, what do you call it? Albinos too, that are black, right? So,
Right.
I think, and Pudge made a great statement earlier about how, oh man, what did you say, Pudge, about, shoot, man, I'm going blank today, man. My bad. But you had said something, Pudge, about the winners and I don't know.
About if we will never come to the truth
That's
of the
it.
matter. Yeah, we'll never come to the truth of the matter until again we cut all those the ego of being black, white, Asian, Mexican, all that stuff. We have to knock off that first. We got to knock off the ego. And once we all come together and have no agenda, just try to find the truth, I don't think the racism program would just be deleted.
Yeah. And that's, it was, in a perfect world that would happen. I mean, but even just everything that we've talked about previously on previous shows with Kyrie and Kanye, and just everybody's trying to find the truth. Everyone's trying to, I won't say everyone, but people are just, on that search for, I think, for who we are as a people. And because it's so much out there, because so many things got lost in translation, it may be hard to find. And then, like we said just a few minutes ago, you hear the story of the hunter, you hear the story of the, so it's a lot really to just to go in and try to discover. Because if you could Google certain things, and then you'll have someone else coming with something else to refute that story.
Always.
There's always going to be a rebuttal, but
Yeah.
then we just have to look and see, whose credibility, who has credibility, and what, like let's say, what angle are they trying to come from? What agenda
but
are
like
they
we
serving?
did, but like we did, where we were talking about earlier before we got on here, we're talking about the Olmecs, and then all of us jumped on there, and then you gave Ro gave something, Beck, you gave something, and I gave something, and then we, but that's how it's got to be. It can't just be okay, doctor
One
such
perspective.
and such.
Yeah. Hey, like we were saying about the jackets when we was leaving the other day, I say, Pudge, man, I'm so glad that I'm not no tiny dictator to just, okay, I'm gonna get the jackets, I'm gonna put what we need to put on it, and then y'all just meet me and when it's done. No, everybody hold their shit.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Because we gotta, in order to have peace in this world, you need to be able to move with the people that you're moving with. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
can't just think that your ideas is the greatest, because they not
Right.
always. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's the thing. Like, I never want to be the smartest one in the room. If I'm the smartest one in the room, I'm in the wrong room,
Get out.
because then I'm not going to learn anything. I want to be around people that I can learn from, no matter how intimidating it may feel, but I like hearing different perspectives and different opinions and things of that nature. I like hearing, you know, um, different aspects about history, because I haven't read every book. There's just, when I think I've done a lot of reading, there's so much more reading out there that still needs to be done. So,
But that's why
yeah.
it's so scary when you have a certain demographic of people that are so dumb that they only stay in this one little bubble.
Yeah.
And don't puncture that. They don't want to puncture it. It's like, this is my flag. This is my heritage.
Right.
And it's gotten worse. And I so love what the words Rose said. She said, I have a lot more reading to do, not a lot more watching videos. Because that's what the problem. Niggas got lazy, and we just start watching videos and claim that to be fact.
Well, yeah, because I think what's happening, and I have to catch myself too, because we get a little bit of taste of some wisdom, and then we think that now we can hop on a video and dissect that whole thing, and it's so much more that's being left out, that's being unsaid, because we haven't even really done all the research. And you don't research by these videos, you got to look up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think, like Pudge was saying, the division comes in, where just, it made me think of how if one person can't be the captain, they'll sink the whole ship. Mm-hmm. Because you got people that just need to be right. Mm-hmm. About our whole lineage and about who we are as a people, or about religion, or anything. Mm-hmm. You could take any topic,
mm-hmm.
But it's so many different components. Mm-hmm.
Because at one point, it's obviously at one point it was never like that. We were, civilization wouldn't be where it is today if it was one person making the decision all the time.
Right.
It's somebody listened to somebody, and then they came together.
And things progressed.
Yeah.
Things progressed, So yeah,
Yeah, so I got sons. We won Puzz today. But you won that argument. But I think, yeah, because again, I was going down, reading, and then, like you say, once I went a little further, then the European or that scholarship showed me, wait a minute, now y'all lying. You just went straight to the lie. So you got to keep, like you say, going down different avenues to find that medium, like we did. And I think that's what it's about,
Yes.
And we can agree, guys, sometimes it's a rabbit hole too, because you find one thing, you can keep going and keep going and keep going, and and you just, our head can start spinning. You know what I'm saying? Easy. And I think what happens though too is people get the knowledge and become puffed up in knowledge, so we got to be careful with that too. And because you find some people, you hear people get online and start teaching, and they teaching like they've always had that knowledge, and that you're dumb, and they're belittling everybody if they don't know. And that's not the way to do it. No, that's not the way to do it at all. There's an actual TV show on a TV series rather on Netflix called The Sandman, and it goes back in time, but there's a clip on there that's talking about this African woman being considered like the first people, and that show is full of a lot of symbology, a lot of allegorical things. I actually am going to go back and rewatch it, but I think that from watching that, then you take that, but then you go back to the books. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Not just, okay, I watch this video and that's it, and that's the truth. No, let me go back to these books. Let me go back and do this research and, connect the dots.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why I mentioned the professor, you know, because
Mhm.
that's what happens, right? You know, a lot of times these movies, you know, they have to go outside and find the researchers and the scholars to bring in real actual, so it can be real contextualized in this proper manner, you know, because usually
Right,
you only have an hour and 30, 45 minutes to explain a story. So you want to try and get it right, you know,
right,
or
right.
as more actual factual as you can, I guess, while still keeping it entertainment, you know.
Well, just like I was saying from watching The Woman King, you know, that was probably a 2 hour movie, but it's only so much I could go into 2 hours. But clearly, I
Mm-hmm,
can't walk away thinking that I have all this knowledge about the Dahomey people. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm,
know, and just everything that took place from watching a movie for 2 hours.
mm-hmm.
You know, so there's, you know, there's research there to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, like I say, I just appreciate being able to have these kind of conversations with you guys. You know, because there's not many times where we can, you know, even in disagreement, or
Mhm,
even learn from one another. Because, like you
mhm.
say, these egos, these inflated, or you know, people, you know, they rather worship or praise an institution more so than you will your brothers and your sisters. And we got to change that too, because you know, if I can't see the God in my sister, the God in my brother, how can I see the God in me or anything else or anywhere else?
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
Yeah.
right, right. Yeah, and it's about respect. You know, it's
Yeah, it's about
about, you
respect.
know, just having, in which we always talk about that anyway, just having that respect for each other's opinions and perspectives. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I remember one time my brother had posted something on uh Facebook, and then
Mm-hmm.
one of his homies came through and posted something. It was in the context of religion, and then
Mm-hmm.
here I come, right? Here I come, like I'm low key puffed up, like in my knowledge, you know, like nah, you know, nigga, this
Yeah,
is what it
yeah.
is, you know. And then he came back, you know, so it was a little bit back and forth. And then my brother and I got on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
and we kind of, you know, the conversation ended on a good note, but we were arguing. Like
Mm-hmm.
voices were elevated. You know, we're
Mm-hmm.
talking over each other, you know, not cussing each other out or nothing like that. But he's trying to get his point across. I'm trying to get my point across.
Over
We're
religion.
over religion, and we're both thinking that what we're saying is facts, right? And it was shortly thereafter, and this was probably maybe 2015 or
Mm-hmm.
16. And this was
Mm-hmm.
shortly thereafter where I had to sit and say, there's more to things than just what I
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, there's more to what just what I know.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what his friend knew. His friend knew what I knew,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know what his friend knew.
Mm-hmm.
So this then said, I need to learn what he knows.
Mm-hmm.
See, a lot of times we get caught up in just knowing what we know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. But what, there's something that other people know. There's something that this culture knows. There's something that this culture knows. This person knows. This woman knows. This man knows. You know what I'm saying? And you know, not that I have to receive and accept everything as true, but I can at least be humble enough to hear people out. And I think that when it comes to doing our research and studying who we are and knowing who we are as a people and where we come from and so on and so forth, it's the same thing. We have to apply those same, that principle, the principle of humility and respect,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because there's
Mm-hmm.
so much out there.
Mm-hmm. 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 It's real. And you don't know where this person's grandfather then came from, or
Exactly.
or that great grandfather. You know,
Most
you
of
don't know
us
what's
don't
in them
know.
people genes. Yeah.
Most of us
Mm-hmm.
don't know our lineage. You know,
Right.
I don't know about you guys, but I haven't done the ancestor
Me either.
I
tree.
have.
I haven't done any of
Hey,
that,
we
you
need
know.
to. We need to one day. We need to
I'm not
go and do it.
against it. I'm
Yeah.
not against it. You know, I know some people are like, nah, if you do that, then people go have all your stuff. I think they already got all our stuff. You got my social security number somewhere in these.
You got it.
And
You already
they
got
got your
all my stuff.
they got your DNA at birth. So
Yeah, they got
Exactly.
you. Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, that is definitely something I think about doing it, but it's not something that I've made a priority. But I would like to, especially after watching this movie again, The Woman King, because I was sitting up like, I wonder if I got some the homie in me, you know.
I'm telling you, we need to go on and buy them, do them, and then do them, you know, show them online, because we could probably educate some folks with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because I think maybe once you find out, you may have a whole different perspective on some things. So
I might be Indian.
You know what? So yeah, y'all, that's what we on today. We just talking about lineage today, and you know, we'll get back to this conversation. But when seeking knowledge, when doing, you know, do your research first and foremost, and then when seeking this kind of knowledge, like, you know, understand that there's still so much more. You know, I don't think we'll ever know every single thing, right?
Now we're gonna die learning. That's for sure. You know how they say, "Oh, God coming back to save us." Okay, we're gonna pass away while you still talking about being saved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just hopefully you save yourself here on Earth while you still got breath in your life. You know.
And you know what? That'll do it for KPR today, right there. We're gonna end it right there, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Real quick, Pudge, you want to tell them where they can find us?
Yes, of course. You can find us at KPR_network on Instagram. You can find us on our YouTube channel right here at KPR Network. And also, if you got any, you know, ideas, you guys want to chime in on something, here's our Gmail, the KPR Network.
But we ain't on Twitter no more.
No, ain't on damn Twitter no more.
No.
Ain't on Twitter no more.
That's just
Twitter, y'all.
Twiddler.
That's good, Twiddler. I like that.
Because of Elania Muscatella.
Right, huh?
Peace,
All right, y'all. Well, peace, everybody. Till next time.